Good morning. Hello. Happy day to you all. So this is notes for 6-4% multiple choice problems. And these problems are important because they show up all the time and they'll show up in 9th grade again when you see me. So look forward to it. All right, so a couple of tips here to start off with in our intro. First off, you're going to always double check the percentage because this is the number one common mistake. Remember, all percentages are out of 100, so it is essential that when you're looking at things, you take that percentage and you divide it by 100. So if you have 5%, you're going to take 5 divided by 100, and you would be using the decimal 0.05. Always double check it. Go backwards, put the 0.05 back in the calculator, multiply it by 100, and make sure it matches back up to the percent that you started with. Super important. With any word problem, you want to read carefully multiple times to make sure you're understanding what's going on. And finally, make sure the variables match up. If y is equal to, the price, make sure that matches up. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that. I don't know. But you'll see what I mean in some of these next examples. I'll point it out for you. So we'll take a look at, let's do example 0 now. So here, given this expression, 1.20 times 85 hundredths times x, they're telling us that x is the original price. So x right here, this little variable, is the original price of an item. And they want us to figure out what's happening to the price of an item. So first off, if all else fails, pick a value for x and play around with it. So let's say x is going to be 25. If I'm plugging in 25 for x, the first thing I'm doing to that is multiplying it by 0.85. Watch what's happening to that. Did the number go up or did the number go down? 25 compared to 21.25. That went down. So the first thing that's happening here is that it's decreasing. So let's write some stuff down here. It's frozen. There we go. When in doubt, pick a value for x and plug it in the calc. So we took that number and we multiplied it by something and it made it smaller. And that makes sense because that number is smaller than 1. So if we look at this, if you're dealing with something smaller than 1, for example, 0.85, that is going to be a decrease. Whereas on the other side, if you're dealing with something that's larger than 1, that's going to be an increase in the price. What if you were dealing with something exactly equal to 1? Something exactly equal to 1 doesn't change anything because 1 times anything is that self. And now we can go forward with that again. If we take this number and now multiply it, oh my goodness, multiply it by the 1.20, you better believe, look at that, we're going to end up with a bigger number than what we started with. So what is happening to the price of the item? So the first thing that's happening is the price is first decreasing by, and to figure out the percent it's decreasing by, you subtract it from 100. Subtract from 1, in this case, because we're using the decimals. Subtract from 1, or the percent, 100, to get percent. Let's just say subtract from 1 to get percent. Okay, there we go. So if I take that 1 and I subtract 0.85, I'm going to get 1 minus 0.85, 0.15. Turn that decimal into a percent by multiplying it by 100, and you get a 15% discount. First, the price was decreasing by 15%, and we found that out right there. Then what happens? Then the price is increasing by looking at that next number, that 1.20. The 1 is what makes it bigger. The percentage is stolen from that, the decimal after it, the 0.20. So just like we subtracted from 1 here, we could essentially do the same thing. 1 minus, you would want to do it the other way around, but you'd want to do 1.20 minus 1 because it's positive. Either way, you ignore the 1 and basically focus on that 0.20, multiply it by 100 to get that 20%. So the price is increasing by 20%. So you just have to be careful. You have to be very careful and read when you're doing these problems.